All right, so it is 2 o'clock now. So we're going to get started on this week's lesson. This is actually going to be part one of this week and next week as our final classes of inking. So we're going to be doing mainly pencil this week and maybe a little bit of ink, but mainly focusing on doing all of this pencil. And yeah. So I will just wait for a minute and then we will get started. All right, so for this week, you will need a pencil, an eraser, and a ruler or a flat piece of paper to use as a ruler. Um, the paper I'm using is Bristol, and I'm using an 8 by 10 piece of paper. But you can use whatever paper you have, as always. All right, so we are going to get started. This is going to stay off to the side for the most part for a lesson. Um, yeah. So this week we're going to be doing a little bit of perspective work. If you remember going over it in early January, we'll go through it very slow. This is why it's a 2 week part lesson, just so we can go slow and make sure that we can get everything working good for you guys. So we're going to start off here with our pencil and our ruler. And yeah, so we are going to start off by doing a little bit of perspective work, like I said, and I'm going to go over how I do it, and then we will go over how to use it in this piece. So this is 1 point perspective. If you remember, we did 2 point perspective a little while ago, and this is very similar to that. So, for perspective, you want to start off with a horizon line, and I'm going just about the middle of my page for that. Um, we're like somewhat in the middle. It doesn't have to be perfect, but just starting off like so. And then we are going to add a dot on our perspective line or our horizon line here, and that is our vanishing point. And we are only using one of them for this type of perspective. And from here, we are going to draw in our room. So, um, to start off, we're going to add in a little bit of a rectangle on the right side of our page. And I use the like side of the paper as a line to make sure I'm getting everything straight. Oh, and I'm just adding a simple rectangle off to the right here. So this is the back wall of our room, and yeah, um, I think I'm actually going to extend it a little bit further into our page here. So I'm going just past the middle of the page, like so. And I'm just erasing the line that I put before. So here is where we start getting into a little bit of perspective. And 1 point perspective is fairly simple. So anything that is flat and facing towards where we're drawing from stays flat. And then anything that is to the side is slanted. So um, it'll make more sense once you see it a little bit, but um, yeah, so to draw in the rest of this room, we are taking our ruler and going from the perspective point to the corner of our rectangle here and drawing a line out to the end of our page. We are going to do the same thing on the top here. So lining up your ruler with that dot and then with the corner of your page, like so. The corner of your square or rectangle, sorry, and just following that line out to the edge of your room. All right, so we're going to add in the window next. Just this window on the back wall here. Um, and we're going to again use the paper as our guide for keeping things straight and draw in our window. So I'm drawing another rectangle here and I'm going um, quite a bit above this middle line and then very close to it on this side. That is a very crooked line. And yeah, I'm going just past our horizon line dot here. I'm now going to use my ruler and go around the outside of my window and add in a frame so you can see um, I'm just adding a little bit of a thicker line around everything. So, just something you might notice is these two rooms are looking a little bit different, and that's just based off the paper I'm using. So this paper is very tall and very thin, so you can see everything looks a lot taller. And in this one, because it's more equally um, sized, it's a little bit more square. So I'm going to add in um, this middle part of the window here, which is just a line somewhat halfway through. I put it a little bit closer to the edge of our paper than this side. So from here, we're going to start on our bookshelf. So I will just wait for a second and then we will start on that.
Bị các bạn tôi lại cái đi vào với chụp mấy chú sạc mấy chú sạc gì chú ở wow 6 度
All right, so our bookshelf starts off similarly to our room. We're going to make a rectangle here. Um, so I'm going to start by connecting the bottom of a rectangle to the edge of our room here. So just drawing a line out from there and then extending our shape up on either side all the way, well, almost all the way to the ceiling here. So I'm going a little bit lower than the ceiling. and on both sides of this here. And then connecting them at the top. So from here, we're going to make our bookshelf 3D. So we're going to do very similar to the room, take our ruler and match it up at our perspective point or our vanishing point, and then at the bottom of our rectangle here, and drawing a line almost to the edge of my page. And from this corner spot here, we're going to make a rectangle similar to this one. So I'm going to start by connecting it to the wall here at the base. And from here, we're going to draw those lines upward. And you can see they're a lot taller than this one, and that's because we have to draw in this line to see how tall they are. So I'm just drawing in a very tall line that I can erase lots of it later to make sure we get the bookshelf at the right height. So, like I said, our next step is going to be adding in these top lines, and I'm doing the same thing where I'm finding that dot and connecting it actually to the top of this rectangle here, and then drawing a line to that line we made. And I'm going to be doing the same for this corner of our rectangle, connecting both that dot and the corner there, and just drawing that line out towards there. And you can see I have a lot of extra line at the top of this, so I'm just going to erase that. And then connect them at the top like so. All right, so from here we're going to kind of make our bookshelf look a little bit sturdier and add in some shelves. But I want to say, if you ever need me to repeat anything to do with perspective, it is um, it is something that is a learning curve. So please let me know, and I will repeat anything you need. Um, yeah. So from here, we're going to be drawing some so making our bookshelf not look so thin.
This
So
one, this a closet on the wall.
yeah, so this is like a bookshelf slash closet thing. It's got like drawers in the bottom and then shelves on top. Um, yeah.
Thank
hmm So we're going to start off by doing kind of what we did for the window here and just adding some lines that just thicken up what we have for our bookshelf. So I'm going to add in lines on the top and the sides. We're only doing it on this side of our bookshelf here. So I'm just going to go around and add in a little bit of thickness for our bookshelf here. So now we're going to be adding in our shelves for things. And the first shelf is nice and easy as it is flat on this line, which means that you're just adding a thick line that is straight. So when doing perspective, this horizon line, if anything is flat on that line, that means you just get to draw it straight, which is nice. The next shelf we're going to do somewhat in between these two. So, you can kind of guess where to put them. I'm going to do a lighter line and then check if I like where that placement is, and then thicken up the line if I like it. That one is a little bit too thick, so I'm just going to draw it a little bit closer. Not quite. And we are going to do the same on the lower half here, but instead of thickening the line, we are just going to leave it flat. So just one of the lines. As the bottom of that is, it's got drawers on the front of it, so we don't need to make it like a shelf. That's a little bit too low. And from here, I'm going to take my eraser and erase all of the lines in this bottom area here. I'm also going to erase these two lines here, um, like so. And I'm going to erase the corner of our room, this line, just because it's a little bit in our way here. I'm leaving it above the bookshelf. I'm leaving that in place, but just anything that goes on the bookshelf, we are erasing. So, the last step of our bookshelf here is just going to be making our shelves look like they are 3D. So I'm going to go through and connect these lines with the back of the bookshelf. So I'm starting at this corner of the shelf and drawing a line towards this back line. So you can see it looks like that. So the last step we are doing is going to be connecting that back line we just did and using our perspective point here, so lining those two up and just drawing a line like so. So now this shelf looks more 3D, and we are going to do the same to the top here, so I'll go over it again in just a minute. All right, so I'll go over this top bookshelf, or yep, bookshelf. So we're going to add in a line connecting this bottom part back towards that. So this horizon line um, means anything above it, you can see the bottom of it. So we can see the bottom of this shelf and the bottom of this shelf, and anything below this line, you can see the top of it. So that's why it's a little bit different looking than the bottom one, but we're following the same idea. The last little bit here, connecting this line to that corner and drawing a line in like so. And I'm going to go in with my eraser and just erase um, these lines here. So our next step is going to be drawing in the cabinet, and I will just wait for a minute and then we will start on that. All right, so for this bottom cabinet, we are going to start just by adding in um, a line just below that shelf, and this is just to show the like top of the cabinets here. And I'm going to do one at the bottom as well. So again, using that dot as an anchor, we're just adding in two lines like so. We are also going to add in some lines on the side here, like that. And so for this cabinet, we're making two doors for it. So we need to find the middle of our rectangle here. And there's a really cool trick that I learned to do that. And I'm just going to connect the two corners, diagonal corners between the square, and draw a very light line through them. So you can barely see my line, but I added one in from this corner to this corner. And I'm going to do the same for the other two, connecting them. And this crosshair in the middle where they connect, that is the middle of your shape, whatever it is. So that's a cool trick to know to find the middle of anything. So from that middle line, I'm going to draw a line that connects to the top of our doors and to the bottom, like so. So this is the base of our bookshelf done. So we're going to leave it here for now and come back to add details in a little bit. Um, so we're going to move on to the couch in just a second here. Um, I will just wait and we will get started on that in a minute here. All right, so the couch starts off the same way that our bookshelf starts off. So we're going to start with a rectangle here. So I'm going just a little bit further than the window. Like so, and connecting it down towards the ground here. So from here, we are going to um, draw out the shape to be more 3D. So I'm using my perspective point and the top corner of my rectangle here and just drawing a line a little bit out. And I'm going to do the same for the bottom of my couch as well. And I'm going to connect those two lines vertically here. And erase whatever excess line I have. I'm actually going to thicken mine up just a little bit here as it feels a little bit thin. So I'm just increasing the size of my rectangle here like so. Oh, that was definitely too much. So one of the challenges of doing perspective is learning to see when something looks off. Um, and it's a little bit of a challenge to see, but um, yeah, if you keep drawing in the same style of perspective, you eventually kind of learn what looks good and what doesn't. So I have been drawing with perspective for 5 or 6 years, I think, at this point. So I've got a little bit of practice. So we're going to draw in the arm of our couch here. And to do that, we're going to start by extending this line out or toward the inside of the couch just a little bit. So not much, but just about that much. So the next step is going to be connecting that arm back towards the back of the couch, like so, and then drawing a line from that front corner down to meet this other side of the rectangle. And I'm going to uh, finish it off at the bottom there. So now we're going to add in the rest of our couch here, and I'm going to go just a little bit up from the base of this rectangle and add in a line like so, and then add in one a little bit higher up. So adding in just another line like that. So I'm now going to draw in a third line here, and we're going to start by connecting this corner here with our perspective point. And I'm just drawing it in just a little bit so you can barely see it. Um, but it's just connecting it a tiny bit. And then going from that line, I'm going to add in a third line like that. So this is the base of our couch. It does not look like a couch at the moment. So we're gonna make it a little bit more couch-y in just a second here. All right, so we're going to start off by rounding off the front of the arm of our chair. So I'm going to add in kind of an arch shape in between uh, those two sides of the rectangle. So I'm just rounding out that shape. And I'm going to round out the back of it as well. And then connect that shape down towards this inside line here. So after rounding that shape out, I'm going to uh, keep it kind of rounded on the side here, and then going a little bit slimmer than the line that we have in place, up until about here, where I'm going to continue that line over and adding in a leg to our couch by just adding in a rectangle shape underneath. So from here, we're going to add in our couch cushions. So I'm going to add in a line somewhat in the middle here. And I'm going to connect it to the back line using our perspective point. And I'm going to round out the corners we just put in to make them look like a comfy couch. And I'm also going to round out this top back line a little bit. And from here to finish our couch off, I'm going to draw a line upward from those couch cushions and round off the top rectangle here. I'm adding quite a bit of height, but I'm just rounding out the shape. And then I'm going to go through and erase quite a lot of my lines. So anything that you don't see on here that's like really dark lines, I'm just going to erase them. And I'm also going to shorten this couch leg just a little bit as it is very tall. All right, so this is the foundations of our room here. So we've got in the big things that require the most perspective, and now we're kind of just going to decorate the room we've made. So adding in books, adding in plants or a rug. I have a rug here, a lamp. Um, yeah. So we're going to start off with this lamp. Um, yeah, I have it on a little side table in this one. Um, so to add in the side table, I'm going to start by adding in a table leg that's just a little bit shorter than our couch here and making it a bit of a thicker line. Oops. Like that. And then uh, drawing a line over flat like so, and then adding in another leg on the other side here. So adding in those same thick lines. And flattening out the bottom of them. And then to do the top of the table, I'm just connecting that perspective point with this top corner and drawing it back just a little bit and doing the same for the other side. This will get cut off by the couch, and that is all right. And then adding in a line at the top to finish off a table. And if you want to get fancy, you can add in the back leg of the table. So to do that, I'm starting at the corner of the table here and drawing a line down to there underneath, and then thickening up that line at the back. So our lamp is kind of built of two parts. So we've got the main body of our lamp and then the top of it. So the body of the lamp, I start with a kind of really flat, like oval shape on the table here. And then I add in a circle and a smaller circle on top of that. And I'm going to erase the lines between them. And my lamp is a little crooked, so I'm just fixing that up a bit. So now I'm just adding a little rectangle on top in the middle of our lamp body, like so. And then we're gonna add in a little bit of an odd shape for our lampshade. So to start off, I'm actually going to turn my paper just a little bit so it's a bit easier for me to draw um, and draw a like a curved line at the base, like so. And you want to keep it even on both sides as much as possible. And then I'm going to add a curved line on the top here. It might help to draw a line from the middle of your lamp upward to make sure you're getting this one even. So I'm curving it in the opposite direction and it's quite a bit smaller than the one on the bottom. And now I connect those two lines with a bit of a slanted line going downward. So that's a very tall lampshade, so I'm going to shorten it quite a bit. And to do that, I'm just adding in a rounded line a little bit lower down and then erasing that top part. So there is my lamp. So I'm going to add in a pillow on our couch here. And the way I'm doing that is just adding a little bit of a wonky rectangle in the corner here. So you can see the lines that I drew in are like rounded and yeah, I'm just erasing everything that's behind it. And there is a pillow. So next we're going to add in our carpet. And for the most part, it is just a rounded line. So I'm going to start just a little bit below our couch and round out our line. And you can see my line gets a little bit straighter on this side, like that. And that's like a circular or oval-ish rug. Um, Yeah, and if you want, you can add a pattern to it. Um, I don't know where it is, but there's an art piece where I added in like a circular pattern to it. So I just kept drawing smaller versions of that line on it to make it look a little bit circular or like have a little bit of a circular design to it, like so. So next we're going to add in some handles to our little cabinets here. So I'm going to add some circles just about in the middle. And those are our handles. And if you want, you can add in some details to your bookshelf or to your drawers, like adding in a little design. So I'm just tracing the lines that we put in and rounding the corners and then tracing the lines upward. You can do this with the ruler. Probably should do this with a ruler, as I am drawing very crooked lines. So drawing in a design like that. So we will be adding in a lot more details when we ink this next week. Um, so you want to keep it a little bit simpler for right now until we get to doing more details. And I'll show you guys how to draw in some books and some plants and stuff. But another thing you can do this week is if you want to put your own little spin on it, you can add whatever you would like to this. It is our final like inking lesson. So if you have something you want me to show you how to draw in this perspective, you can either say it or you can put it in the chat and I'll go over it. Um, yeah, so this is kind of like a project almost. So you don't have to do it. Well, like I'll finish the bookcase. We might not get to it today. We might do it next week. But I can show you how to draw some things if you'd like. And yeah, but we're going to start by drawing in some books so you guys can see how I add in these books on the bookshelf. So I start off by taking my ruler and adding in a rectangle on my bookshelf here. So I'm adding in a little rectangle and you can see I've left some space between where my books start and the edge of my bookshelf. And I'm just adding in very similarly to what we do for any other like rectangle shape, just adding in one side of it and then adding in the other side, so the flat side of it, like so. So you can see I'm just making a rectangle, the same that we made the bookshelf. And then from here, I'm taking my ruler and giving it stripes. So going on the front, I'm adding in lines, and they don't have to be the same size. It looks better if you've got more variation to them, like so. And then I'm going to add in some lines on the top, connecting this line of a stripe that I added in just to the back of our rectangle here. So then they look like individual pieces rather than one big rectangle. And there we go. There's some books. And then I will go through and erase all of the back lines of the bookcase and stuff, just so it looks a little bit clearer. And if you want, you can add like details to your books, like lines or squares for titles. I'm kind of just adding random shapes and things. Yeah, so that's how I add in some books. And plants are fairly easy to add in, and they're really fun to draw, at least in my opinion. So I start off with kind of like a rounded rectangle shape. So I'm rounding all of my lines and my corners. And there is our plant pot, nice and easy. You can add like decorations to it if you want, adding in like a stripe to the top or a pattern to it or something. And then I add in lines. So like if this one is a vine, I'm adding in a line going up the bookshelf and maybe down the side of it a little bit. And like that maybe. So adding in some lines and then just adding in some oval shapes. So I'll show you a little bit bigger, just how I do the look of my plants so you can see a little bit clearer. So if that was a vine, I just add in like slightly pointed ovals to the side of my plant. And then I'll add them to the other side, like so. And that's how I do most of my plants. So that's more of like a vine plant that I'm adding in now. I can show you a couple of different plants, but yeah. So like if I were to add a little bit of a bigger plant beside my bookshelf here, I'm going to start off with a circle for the top of the plant pot. My pencil is out of pencil lead. Hold on a sec. Sorry, I just am fixing my pencil at the moment. Or finding a pencil that works now because that one doesn't want to work. Sorry about this, guys. Here. So adding in a circular shape and then adding sides to the pot with just some rounded lines. And then if I'm showing the top of the pot, I like to add in a little bit of a squiggly line so it looks like dirt is on the inside. And then adding in like a big leaf plant. So I'm following the same kind of principle as the smaller one, where I'm just adding some weird like triangle or oval shapes to my lines, like so. And you can see if they overlap, I kind of pick one to go behind and I just erase what I wouldn't be able to see if it was behind another one. Another thing we could quickly add is some curtains. So curtains are pretty easy to add. I'm just going to add a thin rectangle near the top of my windows or window. Um, just adding a thin rectangle and then putting like a circle on the end of it, and that's our curtain rod. And then adding a triangular shape coming down from that curtain rod and adding a wavy bottom to the bottom of it and drawing lines upward. And now I can go in and erase the window behind it. And yeah, so um, you can add some more bookshelves on top of here or anything you'd like, and we will ink this next week. So we will go through um, with the brush pens we've been doing, and I'll show you how to do some shadows and some different textures. But yeah, this is our sketch for the week done. And if you need to rewatch, everything will be on YouTube um, shortly, either today or tomorrow. And yeah,
Mitsushino.
Thank you,
I
Steve.
can't see it actually.
Why?
It's blurring. Your camera is blurring it.
Yes. What? You can see. Me too. But, okay. Maybe I should
That
put
looks
it
really nice, Angela.
Yeah.
in. Donc, it's okay. Ah, you can see this one.
Uh,
I
nope.
got this one, 12 size.
Oh, nice.
It's by Amazon.
Yeah, those are good.
Yeah. Même champagne, là.